Chosen one, pause for a moment and breathe. You've been walking a long road, one filled with turns you didn't expect, losses you didn't deserve, and lessons that cut deeper than words can describe. You've carried wounds that no one saw, and questions that echoed only within your heart. Yet even now, as these words reach you, something in your spirit knows this moment isn't ordinary. You can feel it, that quiet stirring, that familiar warmth rising within your chest. It's the whisper of heaven reminding you, you were never lost. You were being led. Every detour you faced, every door that closed, every tear that fell, it all carried divine design. What looked like failure was redirection. What felt like silence was preparation. What appeared to break you was the very thing that made you ready for what's coming next. You have reached a turning point. The broken road has not been your punishment. It's been your path to promise. You have walked through fire and wilderness, not because God abandoned you, but because He was clearing your way. You've been refined, reshaped, and quietly rebuilt behind the scenes. Now the message is clear. God is setting a new path before you, one unlike anything you've known. The waiting is ending. The fog is lifting. And though you can't yet see where it leads, you'll soon realize it's the route you were destined to take all along. This is not coincidence. This is not random. This is divine alignment unfolding in real time. The same God who allowed the breaking is now ordaining the rebuilding. You are being repositioned, not in shame, but in glory. So listen closely. There's a word from heaven with your name written on it. A decree that will make sense of the storms, the rejections, and the hidden seasons. God is saying, the road that broke you is the same road that's about to bless you. Stay still for a moment. Let your heart open. Let your spirit awaken. Because what you're about to hear will change how you see everything that's ever happened to you. The broken road led you here for a reason, to the threshold of a new beginning that only heaven could design. And as you stand in this quiet moment between what was and what's about to be something sacred, is happening in the unseen. The air around you feels different because it is different. A shift is taking place not in the natural first, but in the spirit. You can sense it even if you can't name it yet. Heaven has been watching the chapters of your journey unfold with precise intention. Every delay, every unanswered prayer, every time you whispered, God, why this way? None of it went unnoticed. What seemed like silence was actually strategy. What felt like distance was protection. There were moments you thought you'd missed the way that somehow the promise had slipped through your hands. But listen closely, you never wandered beyond the reach of divine direction. The hand that guided you through loss is the same hand now lifting you into purpose. This message isn't coincidence. It arrives now because heaven's clock has struck your appointed hour. The divine timeline is aligning the spiritual landscape, rearranging, and your name has been spoken in heavenly places. The one who orchestrates galaxies has been weaving together the threads of your story, bringing order to what once looked like chaos. There is a sacred reason your spirit feels stirred. It's not anxiety. It's awakening. It's the recognition that destiny is drawing near, that the same force that called you out of your old life is calling you into a new one. So let this word settle into your heart. You were not forgotten in the wilderness. You were chosen in it. While others saw nothing growing, heaven saw roots taking hold beneath the surface. And now the season of hiddenness is giving way to unveiling. In this moment you are being addressed not by mere words, but by a current of divine energy, moving through sound and time, a message sent specifically for your spirit to recognize. It comes not to explain every wound, but to reveal what the wounds were preparing. God is saying, I was with you when the road broke beneath your feet. I was with you when you thought the detour had destroyed your direction. But I never lost sight of where I was taking you. The path that once brought pain will soon produce purpose. The same way the sunrise replaces the night without permission, your new path is forming even now, without delay, without doubt. What was once scattered is coming together. This is not imagination, it's revelation. The broken road has finished its work. A new chapter written by divine hands is about to begin. What's being revealed now isn't merely encouragement, it's a decree. Heaven has issued a shift in your direction. The very path that once seemed barren is about to bloom again, but not as before. The ground beneath your feet is being made new, the terrain of your destiny, rewritten by divine order. The message is clear, your season of wandering is closing, and a guided path is unfolding. The confusion that clouded your vision was never meant to last. It was meant to teach you how to see without sight, how to trust without clarity. And because you did, because you kept walking even when your heart was breaking, you have unlocked what many never reached: divine trust. In the unseen doors are opening not one but many. Yet these are not doors you will have to chase. They will find you. They will appear not through striving, but through surrender. You have already been positioned. The coordinates of your life have aligned with heaven's blueprint, and what's about to happen will confirm that every loss was a setup for alignment. You will notice this shift first, not in your circumstances, but within your spirit. A peace will begin to replace pressure. The urge to prove yourself will dissolve into quiet confidence. Opportunities will flow with divine timing, as if the universe itself has conspired to move things in your favor, because it has. God is saying, I am rerouting you. You thought the delay was a denial, but it was divine direction. I closed certain paths so you would not settle for less than what I ordained. The broken road you walked was the only one strong enough to carry the weight of your calling. The prophecy unfolding over you now is not about returning to what was. It's about becoming who you were always meant to be. The old chapter required you to let go. This new one requires you to rise. The divine path before you is marked not by ease, but by grace, not by perfection, but by purpose. Soon you'll look back and realize that the detours were divine corridors. Every no was protection. Every door that shut forced you closer to the one that matters most. The tears you cried watered the soil of your next season, and what is growing from it will not be temporary. It will be transformational. Something sacred is being written in your story right now. You may not see the ink, but heaven is signing your release from past pain, from old limitations, from the echo of failure. You are stepping into a chapter where restoration will no longer be a promise, but a reality. It will happen subtly at first, a conversation, a chance meeting, a sudden burst of inspiration that redirects your steps. Then, as divine order takes hold, the pace will quicken. You'll know it's God because it won't make sense in human timing, but will feel perfectly right in your spirit. This is not imagination, it's manifestation. The prophecy declares, the path once filled with obstacles will become smooth. What once drained you will now sustain you. What once rejected you will call for you by name. You are entering a divine reroute, a recalibration of destiny. And though you may not yet see where it ends, you can rest knowing this: the one who led you here is not done. He's just beginning. Let the words settle deeply. The broken road was never punishment. It was prophecy preparing to speak. If you look closer, you'll realize this entire journey was never about the road itself. It was about who you became upon it. The broken road was the divine classroom where your faith was forged, your heart was purified, and your purpose was revealed through pain. Every crack in the path, every fall, every night you thought you wouldn't make it, those were sacred invitations to discover the strength within you that only divine pressure could release. What you called broken heaven, called breakthrough. What you saw as endings were actually sacred beginnings wrapped in disguise. The spiritual truth behind your suffering is this: God was not trying to destroy you, He was trying to distill you. Think about it. Gold is not made pure in comfort. Diamonds are not formed in stillness. Seeds do not sprout in sunlight alone. They break open in darkness before they rise. And so did you. The darkness you walked through was the soil of your transformation. When you reached that point where nothing made sense, where the prayers seemed unanswered, where you felt unseen and unheard, that was when the deepest alchemy of your soul began. The silence of heaven was not absence. It was activation. You were being taught to walk by faith, not by sight. You were learning the sound of divine stillness, the frequency of heaven's language that only the broken can hear clearly. Because in breaking, your spirit became tuned. And now that it's tuned, you can hear what you couldn't before. That's why lately you've been sensing change in your spirit before it appears around you. You've been feeling a pull, a quiet knowing that something bigger is calling you forward. That's not imagination, that's alignment. The deeper meaning of this new path is not escape, it's evolution. God doesn't remove you from your past, He redeems it. He turns what once wounded you into wisdom. He transforms the road that once broke you into the foundation for your next destiny. You are not starting over, you are starting higher. This divine redirection is heaven's way of saying, you have outgrown the old map. The roads that used to make sense no longer fit because you have changed. The vibration of your spirit has risen. Your assignment has shifted. Your frequency has expanded. You can't stay where you were because where you were can no longer sustain who you are becoming. Every closed door was not rejection. It was preservation. Every delay was not denial. It was divine synchronization. You were being prepared to move in harmony with heaven's rhythm, not human pace. And that rhythm always feels slower than we want, until suddenly it feels faster than we can comprehend. Spiritually, this moment marks your crossing from striving to surrender, from confusion to clarity, from wandering to walking in purpose. The old energy is fading. The new one is rising. The same way the night sky cannot resist the dawn, the heaviness that once followed you cannot resist the light that's now leading you. If you've wondered why you've been feeling detached from people, places, or patterns that once felt familiar, that's because your spirit no longer resonates at that level. You are not losing connection. You are gaining alignment. The broken road humbled you, so heaven could trust you. Before the blessing comes, the refining, and the refining produces recognition. You can now discern what's truly meant for you and what's merely a distraction. You can sense peace or warning before words are even spoken. That is the reward of divine intimacy. So understand this: the meaning behind your suffering was sacred shaping. You were being sculpted by unseen hands to carry greater light, deeper compassion, and unshakable faith. And now that light, the one formed in your nights of darkness, will be the lamp that guides others out of their own wilderness. You didn't just survive the broken road. You became the map others will follow to find their way home. The spiritual depth of your journey cannot be measured by miles or years, only by transformation. You are living proof that what breaks you can also birth you. The divine path ahead is not merely restoration of what was lost. It's the revelation of who you were always meant to be. As this new path begins to unfold, subtle confirmations will begin to appear, not random, not imagined, but divine echoes meant to assure you that heaven's hand is guiding your steps. These signs won't always be loud. They will whisper softly through moments of peace, through coincidences too precise to ignore, through words that seem to arrive at the perfect time. One of the first signs will be inner stillness, the kind of peace that doesn't match your situation. When everything around you still seems uncertain, yet something deep inside tells you it's already handled. That's the Spirit speaking, confirming that alignment has begun. The storm outside may not yet cease, but the calm within you is proof the winds are obeying divine command. The second sign will come through divine repetition. You'll begin hearing the same message in different ways, a verse, a lyric, a sentence someone casually says, all carrying the same theme. It will feel like the universe is echoing a promise back to you. That's because it is. When heaven wants your attention, it speaks in patterns. A third sign, doors reopening that once shut without explanation. People who once turned away may reach out with clarity. Opportunities that once vanished will suddenly resurface. But you'll notice something different. You no longer need those doors. You're simply being shown how much you've grown beyond them. These aren't returns to the past, but confirmations that you've healed from it. A fourth sign, divine encounters. You'll cross paths with people carrying exactly what your next step requires. Wisdom, opportunity, partnership, insight. These are not coincidences. They're connections arranged by timing, not chance. Pay attention to conversations that leave your spirit stirred. Pay attention to those who arrive speaking peace into places you had almost given up. A fifth sign will be an unexpected release. The weight you've been carrying, emotional, mental, spiritual, will suddenly lift. You may not even realize when it happened. You'll just wake up one day feeling lighter. The heaviness that once drained you will no longer have authority. That's how you'll know heaven has intervened on your behalf, and for many, there will be a final confirmation, divine acceleration. What took years to build before will start unfolding quickly. Doors, resources, alignments, all falling into place at a supernatural pace. You'll feel it like a current carrying you forward, no longer struggling to make things happen, but watching them flow effortlessly. Do not dismiss these signs as coincidences. Each one is a divine signature, heaven's way of saying you are exactly where you're meant to be. So if you've been seeing numbers repeating, if you've been waking at unusual hours with peace instead of fear, if you felt the urge to prepare for something unseen, these are not random. These are your confirmations. The broken road was your teacher. But these signs, they are your proof that the lesson is complete and the blessing is beginning. Even as the new path unfolds, you must understand every promise carries preparation. Every open door comes with a threshold that tests the strength of your faith. The transition from the broken road to the divine path will not always feel gentle. It will stretch you, shape you, and reveal what still needs healing before the blessing can fully rest upon you. The first challenge will be patience. You will sense the shift before you see the evidence. You'll feel the breakthrough in your spirit long before it shows up in your life. That gap between revelation and manifestation is sacred. It's where your faith is refined. The delay is not denial. It's divine sequencing. You are being taught to rest, not rush. The second challenge will be discernment. As your light grows, not everyone who approaches will come with pure intent. Some will be drawn to your anointing, not your authenticity. The same discernment that helped you survive the wilderness must now protect your promise. Listen less to words and more to energy. Peace will never lie to you. The third challenge will be inner resistance. The mind will try to return to old patterns, fear, self-doubt, unworthiness, because they once felt familiar. But what is familiar is not always faithful. This time you must remind yourself, I am not who I was when I walked that broken road. Each time you choose faith over fear, you break another chain of the past. The fourth challenge, loneliness before alignment. Sometimes God clears the room before He reveals the next assignment. People may fall away without explanation. Connections may fade. Don't chase what's exiting your life. Make room for what's arriving. The solitude isn't punishment, it's sacred space for clarity. And finally, the most subtle challenge of all, surrender. The temptation to control outcomes will test you again. But divine paths don't respond to force. They unfold through trust. When you try to force timing, frustration grows. When you release timing, peace takes its place. Understand this: truth tests will still come, but this time you'll walk through them with a different strength. You'll recognize that not every storm is a setback. Some storms are divine escorts, pushing you toward the next level of purpose. The same hands that broke the old pattern are now guiding you through new preparation. The hidden challenges are not sent to break you again. They are designed to confirm that you are no longer the same. You've outgrown the old reactions, the old fears, the old need to prove yourself. When the tests arise, remember the road may still be narrow, but now it's anointed. Now that the new path has been revealed and the hidden challenges are understood, heaven offers instruction not as a list of rules, but as sacred alignment. These are not mere suggestions. They are coordinates that keep you in rhythm with divine timing. First, guard your atmosphere. The environment you maintain will either nurture or choke what God is planting in you. Protect your peace like it's treasure, because it is. There will be distractions, conversations, comparisons, noise meant to pull your focus, but silence will become your greatest strategy. When the world calls you to rush, slow down. When chaos rises, listen deeper. The voice of God rarely competes with noise. Second, walk in gratitude. Every step you take, even the uncertain ones, must be anchored in thanksgiving. Gratitude is not a reaction to what's seen. It's the language of faith for what's coming. When you thank God before the blessing arrives, you unlock the gates of acceleration. Gratitude transforms waiting into worship and worry into wisdom. Third, speak only what aligns with promise. Words are seeds, and the soil of your new path is sensitive. Heaven listens to what you confess when you're tired. Declare what you desire, not what you fear. Speak light over your life, even when shadows appear. You will begin to see your reality rise to match your declarations, because creation responds to conviction. Fourth, stay obedient to small instructions. The miracles ahead won't come through grand gestures, but through consistent faithfulness. A nudge to reach out, a prompting to let go, a quiet reminder to rest. These are not random impulses, they are divine directions disguised as simplicity. Each time you obey, you strengthen your alignment with destiny. Fifth, release what no longer fits. The new path cannot carry old weight. Relationships, habits, and mindsets that once served your survival may now hinder your growth. Letting go is not betrayal, it's obedience. You are not abandoning the past, you are ascending from it. If God has closed a chapter, stop rereading it. The next page has already been written. Sixth, prepare in the physical for what you've seen in the spiritual. If you've been shown expansion, organize for it. If you've sensed new opportunity, make room for it. Faith without movement becomes stagnation. Every small action you take in expectation becomes a signal to heaven. I'm ready. And finally, seventh, remain in communion. Spend time in stillness. Speak less, listen more. You are in a season where divine instruction will flow through whispers, through intuition, through divine nudges that seem too small to matter, but they do. God is not only speaking to you, He is speaking through you. The guidance that flows now is sacred partnership. Remember this, path is not about striving for favor, you already have it. It's about maintaining alignment so the favor can flow freely. If you stay positioned, doors will open without force. What's meant for you will begin to locate you. You won't need to chase opportunity. You'll attract it. The divine instruction is simple but powerful. Stay pure in motive. Stay steady in faith. Stay sensitive to direction. Stay surrendered in spirit. Every day you do, the path beneath your feet becomes clearer. You'll begin to feel heaven's rhythm in your routine moments of delay, turning into direction, moments of confusion, turning into confirmation. Do not underestimate how far obedience can carry you. A single step in faith will cover the distance that fear could not travel in years. And if you ever doubt your way, return to this truth. The one who set this path before you will sustain you upon it. You were not called to make your own way. You were chosen to walk the way already made for you. So lift your head, align your heart, and take the next step in confidence. The map may not be fully visible, but the maker of the map is walking beside you. As you step forward on this new path, know this with unwavering certainty: you are not walking alone. The same presence that carried you through the wilderness now surrounds you as a shield. Every unseen danger, every silent threat, every dart of doubt, none of it can reach you when you walk covered by divine protection. There is an invisible covering over your life, woven not by human hands, but by heaven's decree. You are marked, sealed, and watched over. Even when the enemy plots in the shadows, the light of God exposes every scheme before it forms. Nothing that was meant to destroy you will succeed. It will instead become the very soil from which your testimony grows. Sometimes that protection will come through prevention doors that don't open connections, that suddenly dissolve delays that seem inconvenient. But what feels like rejection is often God's redirection, His way of sparing you from unseen harm. And sometimes that protection will come through presence, a peace that meets you in panic, a strength that rises within you when everything else fails. That's not coincidence. That's covenant, even when you can't feel it. Heaven has dispatched angels on your behalf. They move ahead of you to prepare paths behind you, to guard what's been planted, and beside you to ensure that your feet don't stumble. You may not see them, but their evidence surrounds you in every close call, every unseen escape, every moment you almost gave up but didn't. You are surrounded by divine order. Every step you take is covered. Every choice you make in faith is protected. And when confusion tries to creep in, when fear whispers that you're still alone, remember, isolation is an illusion. The hand that wrote your destiny never lets go. God says, when you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. When you pass through the waters, they will not sweep over you, because I am with you. This path may still have storms, but they can no longer swallow you. You've become stormproof because you've learned how to find peace in the middle of it. You carry within you a light that no darkness can extinguish. So do not fear what's ahead. The unknown is not empty. It's filled with divine provision, waiting for your arrival. You are walking in prepared territory. Every obstacle that rises will bow to purpose. Every weapon formed will fail in the light of faith. Rest in this truth. You are divinely insured. Your steps are ordered, your spirit is guarded, and your journey is covered by grace. The same power that raised you from the ashes will keep you as you rise higher. So breathe deeply. Walk boldly. You are wrapped in the peace that surpasses understanding, not as a promise, but as a presence. And now, as the dust settles from all that you've endured, something begins to shift deep within you. The brokenness that once defined you no longer feels like loss. It feels like revelation. You begin to see the pattern, the divine architecture behind every delay, every heartbreak, every closed door. You realize it was never random. It was the precise unfolding of destiny designed to bring you to this exact moment. This is transformation. Not the kind that happens overnight, but the kind that rewrites the story from the inside out. Your scars, once painful reminders, now shine as proof of survival. The voice that once trembled now speaks with quiet authority. The person who once doubted their worth now walks with divine confidence. You are not who you were when this began, and that's the miracle. The fulfillment you're stepping into isn't just about blessings you can hold, it's about becoming someone who embodies the blessing itself. The peace you used to chase now flows through you. The opportunities you prayed for now recognize you. What you were waiting for is no longer separate from you. It's within you, radiating outward. God's promise has matured in you. The seed planted in your seasons of pain has finally blossomed. The road that once broke you is now paved with purpose. And you'll notice something profound. Where once there was struggle, now there is flow. Where once there was striving, now there is ease. That's the signature of divine completion. You will walk into rooms and shift atmospheres without effort. People will sense something different, not arrogance but presence, not noise but peace. You will carry the fragrance of heaven wherever you go, because your spirit has become a sanctuary for divine grace. And soon what you carried in faith will manifest in form. The business idea that was born in silence will find its time. The dream that seemed delayed will begin to accelerate. The relationships meant for your next season will appear naturally drawn by divine magnetism. You won't have to chase them. Alignment will bring them to you. There will come a morning when you wake and realize the waiting is over. The heaviness has lifted. The air itself feels lighter. You'll sense it before you see it. But when you see it, you'll know this is what I was being prepared for. Your fulfillment will not be a single moment. It will be a season of continuous unfolding. New ideas, divine opportunities, supernatural peace, all flowing from the same source that once carried you through pain. What once broke your heart will become the platform for your purpose. And through it all, you will give glory not to circumstance, but to the divine hand that never left you. You'll realize the most powerful part of your story was never the ending. It was the endurance. The moments you thought you were finished were actually where God was just getting started. So walk boldly, chosen soul. You are not entering blessing, you are becoming it. The world will soon see what heaven already declared, that the broken road led you to promise, and the promise has now become reality. This is your transformation. This is your fulfillment. This is your moment of becoming. Take a slow breath. Feel the weight lift, the peace settle. You've walked through the message. Now let it anchor in your spirit. What you've just heard was not coincidence, it was confirmation. The broken road that once confused you has now been revealed as divine strategy. You are standing at the threshold of new beginnings, and heaven is smiling upon you. Before this moment ends, let these words become your declaration, simple but powerful affirmations to seal what has been spoken. Affirmation 1. I am divinely guided even when I cannot see the way. Say it with faith, not as hope, but as truth. You are no longer wandering. You are walking in direction. Every step, even the uncertain ones, are guided by unseen wisdom. Affirmation 2. What once broke me now builds me. Every scar has turned into strength. You no longer carry pain, you carry purpose. Every challenge became a chapter in your victory. Affirmation 3. My path is protected, my timing is divine. You don't need to rush, compare, or fear being left behind. The right things are finding you. The right doors are opening. The right moments are unfolding exactly as heaven arranged them. Affirmation 4. I am walking into the fullness of who I was created to be. Not half, not almost fullness. You are no longer fragmented. Every part of you healed and whole is now ready for divine assignment. Now lift your spirit in stillness and receive this blessing. May peace flood the places where fear once lived. May clarity replace confusion and confidence replace doubt. May divine favor follow you into every new space, lighting your steps and guarding your way. May your heart remain open, your faith unshaken, your purpose unstoppable. As you move forward from this moment, remember the same God who guided you through the valley now walks beside you on the mountain. You have not missed your time. You have arrived at it. The new path is not ahead. It has already begun beneath your feet. Walk with assurance. Speak with authority. Live with gratitude. The broken road was never the end. It was the way home. And now heaven whispers once more, "Be still, beloved. The way is made. The promise is here. Walk in it."